I want to tell you about a phone call that I had on a Tuesday afternoon. It was Sandra, and she was crying, and not the kind of crying that comes from sadness. This was the kind that comes from being shocked. She's just come from a meeting with her divorce attorney, and she had found out that a $45,000 account that she had opened for herself, funded herself, and never once thought of as ours was being counted as marital property in her divorce. And she's asking me, how is this even possible? I opened that account. That's my money. And I had to tell her the truth. It's possible because nobody explained the rules before the game actually started. I'm Donna Cates, certified divorce financial analyst, and today we're talking about marital property versus separate property. The difference between the two can mean tens of thousands of dollars at the settlement table. And most women don't find out which side they're on until it's almost too late to do anything about it. So we want to fix that right now for you. The most expensive assumption I see is this one. I know what's mine. And I understand why women believe this. It feels obvious. The account that you opened before you got married, yours. The jewelry your grandmother left you, definitely yours. The car that's only ever had your name on it, yours. But here's what I've learned after years of sitting across from women at their most financially vulnerable moments of their lives. Feeling like something is yours and being able to prove it in a legal proceeding are two completely separate things. And the gap between those two things is where settlements often fall apart. Let me give you the foundation. Separate property is typically what you owned before the marriage, savings, investments, real estate. It also includes inheritances left specifically to you, personal gifts given to you individually, and certain legal settlements also award personal injury awards. Those can be considered separate properties. But in theory, separate property stays yours through a divorce. It's not subject to division, but that's just the theory. The problem is that separate isn't a permanent status. It's a starting point in life where we have shared accounts, joint decision making, years of intertwined finances. It has a way of quietly erasing the starting point if you're not careful. And this is the part I really want you to hear. There's a legal concept that's called commingling. It's a fancy word for a very simple and very costly thing. Mixing your separate property with marital property until a court can no longer tell them apart. Here's the common way I see it happen. A woman inherits money. She deposits it into a joint account that she shares with her husband because that's where the money always goes. That's how they've always done it. Over time, that money funds groceries, car repairs, family vacations, and a few years later, she's trying to claim that that inheritance is just hers, separate property, and there is no paper trail left to prove it. Gone, not stolen, just dissolved in the marriage. And here's another one. A woman owns a home when she gets married. Her husband moves in. Together, they pay the mortgage, renovate the kitchen, build equity, and they may never have even put his name on the deed. But by year 10, the question of what portion of that home is hers versus marital is genuinely complicated, and the answer can surprise people. Commingling isn't a mistake that you've made. It's not carelessness. It's what happens when two people build a life together and nobody told them to keep financial records as if the marriage might one day end. And I'm not saying go into your marriage expecting divorce. I am saying know the rules because not knowing them doesn't protect you. It just leaves you unprotected without realizing it. So if any of this is making you think about accounts, assets, or property that you've assumed were protected, book your divorce financial consultation with me. The link will be in the description below. You don't have to do everything or have everything figured out before your call. That's exactly what the consultation is for. Okay, one more piece of the puzzle. Here's something almost nobody sees coming. Let's say you had a retirement account or investment portfolio before you married. I can relate to this. Both my husband and I both had 401k accounts and good savings before we married. But we each funded our own, opened them, funded them, and it was just in my name, for example. But during the marriage, that investment account, it grew. In many states, the growth on the separate property asset, the appreciation that happened while you were married, can be classified as marital property. So the original balance might be yours, but the gains, those could be on the table for division. This matters enormously when we're talking about retirement accounts, investment accounts, or a business that you started before you married. Every state has different rules on this. Community property states handle it one way, equitable distribution states handle it another. And the specific facts of your marriage, how finances were managed, what was documented, and what was commingled changes everything, which is exactly why a general answer from a general source isn't enough for you. You need someone looking specifically at your situation. If you're in the middle of a divorce or you can see one coming, here's where to start. First, document everything that you believe is separate property. Pull old statements, find inheritance records, dig up gift letters. The further back the paper trail goes, the stronger your position will be. Second, understand that your attorney and your divorce financial analyst are doing two separate jobs. Your attorney knows the law, I know the money. You need both, especially when the assets are complicated. Third, don't wait until the settlement is almost done to ask these questions. The earlier you get clarity, the more options you have. I've seen what happens when women walk into divorce without this information. I've also seen what happens when they walk in prepared, when they know exactly what's theirs, what's marital, and what a fair outcome actually looks like for them. The second version is better every time. You deserve to be the second version. Book your divorce financial consultation, the link's below, or come spend a Saturday with me at the Second Saturday Divorce Workshop. This is where we cover all of this information and more in a room full of women who are going through exactly what you're going through. You don't have to have this all figured out alone. That's what I'm here for. I'm Donna Cates. The settlement table is not the finish line, but how you show up to it matters. Let's make sure you're ready. See you next time.